Hello. I am harvesting and saving moringa seeds, listening to the birds, listening to the waves crash against the rocky shore. And it's a beautiful day. And as I'm sitting here doing this, I'm thinking about authority, which I think about a lot. Authority in general, and my relationship to authority, and my self-authority. And we have an issue in the world, I believe, where a lot of people have become allergic to authority. And I think that's because there has been a major misuse and abuse of authority for a very long time. And I think what has happened as a result of that is similar to, have you ever eaten something and then become sick simultaneously, so that moving forward you associate that food with being sick, and therefore anytime you look at that food or smell that food, you become queasy, and so you avoid it altogether? It's like that with authority. The thing about it is that if you do not take responsibility, self-authority, if you reject authority altogether, including your own, it actually makes you more susceptible to people who abuse authority. And this is the game that is being played by tyrannical people. They want us to cede over, to hand over our authority through the rejection of it. And we are playing, on a whole, young people especially, are playing right into the hands of those tyrants, of these powerful elites, that are working behind the veil, puppeting us, controlling the media, making the laws, controlling the government, the Illuminati, these secret societies. These things really exist. And the state of the world is not an accident. It really isn't. And we're seeing a lot of things being uncovered with like Epstein and Diddy and all these celebrities that are, they're totally corrupt. And these people have authority, and they're abusing it, and they're misusing it, and they're misguiding people. And young people have picked up on this, and they feel betrayed. And they're making the mistake of thinking that it is authority in general that is the problem versus the misuse of authority. And so they reject their own even self-authority, and then because of that lack of taking responsibility, because that's what self-authority is self-responsibility. If you fail to take it, well, someone will take it from you and for you and rule over you. So, and you might say, why the hell are you thinking about that while you're collecting moringa seeds? Well, because I live a certain kind of lifestyle. I live a lifestyle that is much like, I'm pretty close to being a renunciant, meaning I don't live for money, I don't live for material things, I live very simply. And in order to do that, you have to take responsibility. You have to be present. You have to be accountable. Because living as a renunciant means you don't have a lot of money to throw around to get your needs met, or to have your way, or to have your own will be done. You have to surrender. You have to listen. You have to pay attention. You have to show up, and you have to do the work to meet your needs. For me, I believe that it's a spiritual thing. So I'm rather than chasing after material things, I'm chasing after God. I'm surrendering to God. And I'm trusting that if I show up and I listen and I obey, that I will be provided for. And And in that way, my needs will be met, and I don't have to earn money in order to have my needs be met, you see. And so money is not the authority. God is the authority. There is an authority in my life. I don't reject authority. Okay? So I don't think I don't think it's a coincidence that at the same time that young people are rejecting authority, that many of them also reject God, because God is the ultimate authority. So what I'm saying is we need to be accountable, we need to be responsible, we need to surrender to authority, the one authority, God, right? And that is being responsible, in my opinion. And where do I want to go with this? I got distracted because someone's in the kitchen. I lost my train of thought. I heard some pans banging around. Let me get back on track here. In order to have freedom, in order to be free, which that's what everyone wants. We want to love and be loved and be free. And love gives rise to freedom. Real love is rooted in freedom and in free will and in choice. It doesn't confine, it doesn't force, it doesn't act like a tyrant. Okay? But it requires authority. It requires self-authority. Not looking to someone outside of you, not allowing someone else to control you or have authority over you, but taking responsibility and ownership of, I think what we should be doing is meeting as many of our needs as possible so that we are not made slaves to other men and have to look to other men to give us a job or give us money or give us resources. Okay? And then in that way they have power over us, right? And that's what's been happening is people have been misusing authority by making their brothers and sisters more dependent upon them, by taking away their freedoms, making them more dependent upon the people with the information, the people with the resources, the people with the power and the money. Okay? That's been used to abuse and misguide people, and young people see that that's been going on and they want no part of it. So I really believe the answer is getting back to nature, back to the land, back to taking responsibility for meeting as many of our needs as possible. And part of that, I believe, requires us to tap into and live in harmony with nature. And for me, nature is God's creation, okay? This doesn't, I guess, necessarily require anyone to believe in God. It's not a religious thing. But it's just, this is what's real. The earth, the water, the land, the food, the energy, the sun, this is all what's real. And then man made a bunch of other things, including money. And this material world, it's all an illusion. It's all a game that we decide to participate in. And it's caused a lot of problems, including the abuse of authority and power. Okay? Even that's an illusion, that man has any real authority. We've all decided to play that game. And a lot of people have been born into that game, and that's all they know. And they hate it. They feel trapped. They feel like a slave, because they are. They're a slave to this system, to this matrix, to their own minds that are being controlled by this system and this matrix. Our minds are being programmed through media, through music, through television, through movies, by celebrities, through the government. It's a matrix in here too. And so we've got to break free. If we want to be free, we have to break free from that. God has given us everything we need, but it requires us not to have money, not to have a career, but to have guts, to have heart, to have accountability, to have authority in ourselves, to show up. So, I might have gotten a little sidetracked, and maybe this didn't make complete sense, but I think it's good enough. I'm not going to remake it. I think I made my point. If you want to be free, if we want to be free, we have to embrace authority, our own self-authority. It's not authority that is the problem, it's the abuse of authority.